What's up, YouTube? I'm Brett.
I'm Lance.
This is Rants or Us. And as always, guys, if you enjoy our content, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. We're on the road to 1,000, and we hope you guys will help us get there. And I also do want to...
I hurt my shoulder somehow.
Fully shoulder doing a video.
Old age.
But I want to remind y'all that right now, content creators here on YouTube are having trouble getting their videos out there, thanks to some really crazy YouTube analytics problems. So if you do enjoy our content, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you'll be the first ones to see our videos once they're uploaded. Alright, now we're going to kind of do a little bit of a controversial topic as of today. Is Dumbledore the real villain of Harry Potter? I would say definitely.
I always thought he was kind of like an undercover villain type thing. Like, a lot of people argue, well, he's just misunderstood.
Think about the two baddies that's in the Harry Potter world. One you have Grindelwald, and one you have Voldemort. Grindelwald, let's face it, Dumbledore helped him along in his cement his evil ways to a certain extent.
Yeah, but it doesn't make it clear that Dumbledore knew what his full intentions were all along. It kind of made it seem like once he did, he's kind of stepped away.
I think Dumbledore kind of had the idea, and if you kind of look at it from Grindelwald's perspective, is his people have been cast aside. They've had to flee to another world, basically another reality. They're not, and they were hunted.
And they were always hiding.
Yeah, and then you look at the people that they're doing it from. They've created World War I, World War II, and all these other catastrophes. So it's like, they think we're evil, but yet
they're the evil ones.
And if we allow them to continue on, they're going to end up destroying the world around us.
He wanted to completely annihilate Muggles, not just fight back.
Now, do I believe that maybe Dumbledore wanted that? No. I don't think Dumbledore would want that.
I think maybe there was a time where he was okay with it.
It could very well be.
And then he kind of evolved later on.
It does say that, they kind of picked each other's minds and basically cemented
my
each other's
thoughts
beliefs.
on Dumbledore kind of being the villain actually had very little to do with Grindelwald at all.
Right.
Like, I kind of suspected Dumbledore before you find out about his relationship with Grindelwald.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Like, raising Harry up for slaughter. I mean, come on, what hero does that?
Yeah.
No matter what,
Even
and that was
Snape
one
had
of
a
those.
problem with
That's
it.
one of those little things. Oh, but it was for the greater good. That was
Greater
that was Grindelwald's little saying. But that's what Dumbledore used to make an excuse for the things he had done.
So did Dumbledore, in your eyes, change?
Very little.
I would say I would say maybe a little bit. But
I think that his
idea
idea of the greater good was different than Grindelwald's idea of the greater good, though.
But it was definitely not what you would call a protagonist's greater good.
No, I don't know.
It wasn't that. It was a...
and I mean... Okay,
he wasn't doing it for
reason,
selfish reasons. Let's just put it that way.
Another reason, he goes and gets Tom Riddle. And he knew there was something off about this kid. Maybe like he told Harry, did I know that he was going to be the darkest wizard of all time? No. Maybe he didn't. But you knew there was something off with this guy. Mm-hmm. Like, he was already collecting trophies and stuff. That's something, I don't know, serial killers do.
Yeah. I mean, and you kind of knew, you had to know about his backstory. And
somewhat. Or how would he have found him?
Yeah. So, I mean, he knew how he was born. And he knew...
Even Voldemort himself said, it was kind of hard for me because Dumbledore never trusted me again after I framed Hagrid. So he never trusted him again, but yet he allowed him to remain.
Yeah, I know. So, I mean, why did he allow him to remain?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I mean, so, And
did he hate Voldemort because he was bad, or did he hate Voldemort because he was competition?
And why did he go there? Have you noticed, in Harry Potter got sent letters. We always hear letters. But Dumbledore actively went out.
This was like years and years before, so maybe they didn't switch to letters until way later.
And that could be a possibility.
But although it
But
does say
face it,
something about Harry's mom getting her letter, but she was quite a bit younger than Voldemort as well.
But I mean, let's face it, they've used owls for a lot longer, and things like that. That actually was kind of an older, I would say, tradition than it was anything.
Well, yeah.
But I could see that excuse. Yeah, but that's still to me excuse.
Maybe
on a lot of different ways.
I know a lot of people probly gonna hear this and be like, they don't know much about Harry Potter.
Well, the thing is we've read the books. We're huge Harry Potter fans.
As adults.
Yes.
See, now, did I think any of this stuff when I read the book when I was like 12, 13? No. I didn't read that far into it. But then if you go back as an adult, read the books, go back as an adult and watch the movies, and you'll see things a little bit differently, surely. Yes,
because, the very first thing that caught me when I first started reading Harry Potter was when he's eating that, orange candy right after...
Like a lemon drop.
Or lemon drop, yeah, after Harry Potter's parents had just been killed. And it's so casual, and it's just like...
Yeah, see, that's something I always was a little bit confused with, too. Is like, was that the night they died, or is that just when they brought Harry to his aunt and uncle's? Because surely he was somewhere for a little while they investigated. Like,
well, it had to be the night, because...
Well, no, because if that was the case, in my opinion, if it was that night, he would have just went to Sirius Black, because they didn't know at that point.
See, I don't think they really... Do they ever tell how many days Sirius Black was out?
Before? It just says that in the next few days he went and killed Peter Pettigrew, which we all know that's not what happened now.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, surely he would have been with Sirius Black until then.
Yeah. Well, it could very well have been.
They wouldn't have just taken Harry from... If Sirius Black was his legal godfather, they wouldn't have just took Harry from the rubble and brought him to... the Dursleys.
Do you believe that, speaking of just Sirius Black, do you believe that Dumbledore actually thought that Sirius Black was responsible for that?
I think he did for a long time.
I don't think he did at all.
I think
that's a part of the greater good.
He didn't. No, because they kind of touch on in the books that he wasn't sure that Sirius Black was innocent until... the map thing.
Now, I will say this. I'm not saying that I think that Dumbledore did all this on purpose to kill the Potters. I don't believe that. That's all
no, not at all. I don't think he thought that Sirius Black killed Harry and them's parents. I think he thought Sirius Black went and killed Peter Pettigrew and all them people to get to Peter Pettigrew, because Peter Pettigrew had betrayed his best friend.
And that's fair, but I mean, if he really thought that, why didn't he go to more trouble of maybe trying to exonerate him?
He didn't think there was anything to exonerate. He thought that Sirius Black committed murder.
Yeah.
Committed murder to justify his means, so he still needed to go to prison. But it wasn't. I don't think he thought that he killed Harry's parents.
But okay, and then
I still think he felt like Sirius deserved to be in Azkaban, is what I'm getting at.
Another thing that really bothered me about Dumbledore too was how he got Snape to start working for him. He kind of
I have mixed feelings when it comes to that. He got Snape to come back and work for him, but I also kind of felt like, how could he ever trust Snape at that point, too? Yeah. I mean, he literally was a Death Eater. I know Snape turned out to be alright. Yeah. A lot of people still don't think he was a good guy, but I do.
On one of those Harry Potter fan pages not too long ago, I come across that.
I see it all the time.
I saw that, and I wrote on there that I didn't think Snape was probably what you call a great guy, but he wasn't a villain. A lot of people fall in between. I mean, and that just goes in every...
I don't know. I think that he was a villain to an extent, but I also think he was pushed into it. And I don't think he remained a villain. I don't think he really had this hatred for Harry Potter that it makes you think he has throughout the books and throughout the movies.
Well, I mean, but I mean, you take... you take all these people, you have all these people working underneath Dumbledore's nose. They say Dumbledore was the greatest magician of
the wisest wizard of all time.
And all that. But he had all these people, what was his name?
Quirrell.
Quirrell, yeah. Quirrell working underneath him. He had a bunch of other people that was kind of underneath him. And then he didn't want to take the position as the head of the, what do you call that? The Ministry of Magic, yeah.
Yeah, but
because he was afraid of what he might do with the power.
Because he was tempted by power.
Yeah. So,
but
these little things add up over time.
Yeah, definitely. And, I mean, not to mention, you're talking about Quirrell and all this, and then I'm like, look at everything that Tom Riddle did at school right under his nose.
I know.
And yeah, he suspected him, but you think if I suspected you that much, I would start looking for the evidence to kind of
you want to know something?
Prove my theories.
Yeah, and one thing, okay, he was always...
But he was, that's what I got off. He was so wise, but yet Quirrell was able to sneak Voldemort into the school under his nose.
Even Snape didn't trust Quirrell.
Yeah. Mad-Eye Moody, which was supposed to be a really good friend of Albus Dumbledore's, he couldn't tell that was an imposter until 6 months into the school year.
I know.
Slughorn, which was another one of his friends, had basically told Voldemort how to split his soul to make him invincible.
I know. And there's so many of these little things, like I said, whether he outwardly...
That's one I do not think was a good guy at all, is Slughorn.
I don't either. Now... But he brought him back for all these reasons. And to me, if you thought
just to find out something
that,
you already suspected.
Yeah, so I mean, to me, I don't really see exactly where they even really pushed the story that much forward anyways.
I feel like that was just a way to tell us about what they had done.
But
as fans.
But I mean, if you thought that somebody was responsible for that, why would you ever let them on the premises? Yeah. To do that to other kids? Like, I mean, Well,
that's like, why would you keep a 3-headed dog in a school where kids might wander up on it?
Why would you keep Slytherin house? And that is another thing.
I'm a Slytherin. So
but here's the thing: is Slytherin house went almost entirely for the Death Eaters.
If you really believe that whole house as a whole is automatically Death Eaters, why would you even have it?
Well, I know. That's kind of my... and then you allow the whole Dumbledore's army thing to kind of take place in a lot of different ways.
And then it was like, he didn't know nothing about that. You tell me a bunch of 15, 16-year-olds and all the way down to 12-year-olds can sneak around the school and hold these private lessons without you knowing?
I know. That's what I'm saying. I'm always watching Harry, but I'm not watching him in that moment.
Right.
Like, he's kidding me like that.
I watch you more than you realize.
Yeah. So which has creepy connotations to it just in itself.
Oh yeah. If you read into it. but then he's like, "Oh, I didn't know you were doing this."
But you can find all these bad people somehow have some kind of connection with that, and then you have all these stories throughout Harry Potter. These people talking about, he wasn't that great of a guy. He couldn't. His brother didn't like him. He had a bunch of other people.
I was just to get to that. Another thing that was like kind of questionable. They don't even know for sure if him, or Grindelwald killed his sister for the greater good.
I know. And, because what did it do? It allowed him to be able to do what he wanted to.
And what happened, they really thought it was Grindelwald. And what happened, Dumbledore was just like, well, we can't be friends anymore.
Yeah.
Somebody killed my sister. I really thought they killed my little sister.
He cared for Grindelwald more than he cared
his own family.
Yeah. And I think that's what Aberforth was talking about.
And not to mention that their dad had went to prison for attacking Muggles.
I know.
Granted, I'm not saying the Muggles that he attacked didn't deserve it.
Yeah,
they did for jacking with his daughter.
But come on,
it
shows a pattern.
It's in your blood.
You can see a family pattern. You can see
a historic.
A historic thing. You can see over time how there's certain things
got a history about him of violent behavior.
That doesn't add up.
And I don't think he ever meant to be a villain.
No, I don't think he.
I
I don't think in his own mind he was a villain. I don't think he was an outward villain, as in a Voldemort.
No,
but
no,
he
no,
was
definitely not.
But he was
Definitely
one.
not. But I think he wanted to be a hero, but he made a lot of mistakes along the way.
I
don't think anything he did that ever hurt anyone was ever intentional.
No, and I think he really, truly, to the very end, believed in the greater good. The thing with Harry Potter was for the greater good.
Yeah.
You know, and even he
sacrificed
told
Harry Potter to save the whole wizarding world. You know,
I mean, you know, so at the end of the day, like, he was all about.
And a lot of that was, you know, also him believing that prophecy: neither can live while the other survives. Like,
so
one of them had to die in order to kill.
Yeah.
You know, that's how he interpreted it. And you know.
So to me, you know, I kind of just feel like when you just take just the greater good, which it seemed like he was that way at the beginning and was that way at the end, was all about the greater good, then, you know, there's a sense of evilness about it that's not like Voldemort evil, but it's an evil that, you know, evil people can use that as a means of doing evil things.
It's an excuse.
Yeah.
Like
Grindelwald.
It's kind of like casualties of war. You know, things happen.
Yeah.
Like, and that's basically what it was. And I know a lot of people, this is not going to be very favorable to a lot of Harry Potter fans.
Oh, I know. But it's kind of the truth. I feel like a lot of people maybe need to just sit there and contemplate these ideas.
And I'm not saying because we say they should be like, oh, they're right. But at least consider
think about it. Yeah.
Just at least consider.
I feel like in a lot of these, you know, we'll go to these like Harry Potter fan pages, and I feel like a lot of people have this like blind loyalty to Dumbledore, and we've got to realize, hey, Dumbledore was a character that was kind of controversial, and they even kind of hint at that.
Let me explain this. In my opinion, he was a great character to me.
Yeah.
Like, he's one of my favorite characters, not because I liked him, but I like the character. I like the fact that it's one of these things. You never could read him. Yeah, it's one of these things. Yeah. It could go either way when it comes to Dumbledore type thing.
Yeah, you could never truly read him.
I'm not saying all this because I don't like Dumbledore. I'm saying this because it's out there, and it's something to think about. It's something to talk about.
Yeah, I just personally, in my mind, I think I'm not going to say that. I think it was more, I guess, when we talk about villain wise, we're talking about his mindset, his way of thinking was a villain in that regard.
I don't mean that he was the bad guy of the story.
No.
Like,
he wasn't the bad guy of the story, but he did have a mindset that if someone wanted to use it for that, there was a part of him he didn't want to be a part of.
Or something very small, very slightly something different could have made him go in the other direction, you know.
He didn't even trust himself, let's just put it that way.
He's admit that throughout the books, throughout the movies.
Yeah, so I mean, that's something
I never wanted a place of power because I couldn't trust myself with that kind of power. He knew that about himself.
And that's what he respected about Harry Potter, was because he felt like Harry Potter would always do the right thing.
And that's something he couldn't even do. That is, you know what, everybody talks about, how is Dumbledore the wisest wizard? That's what makes him wise right there, is knowing that if I put myself in this kind of power, I might lose myself.
Yeah, and that is. But then also he put the ring on his finger.
That was he was stupid. He was tempted by that power to bring his sister back.
Yeah, so I mean, you know, and he says that it was because of that.
Yeah.
But you know, again, we don't know that. That could have been some other kind of thing that he was wanting to use that for.
See, I believe that to be true.
I do, because it's in the books, and that's what she's never said that it was anything other than that.
Yeah.
So I believe that for that fact. But it would not shock me if later on, if she writes something else, and maybe, you know, she could maybe expound on it.
See, I wish she had made those Fantastic Beasts movies into books before. So
she made the movies.
Now I am not big on this. Oh, what do you think about this? Go read the book or go watch the movie. I hate those answers.
Yeah,
I do because I've done both, and it's all about interpretation.
Anytime,
like, certain things are not written black and white. You got to interpret it in your own mind how you think.
Anytime, I feel like that is such a callous stupid answer on the part
I think
of the
it's
person.
ignorance.
So that it is ignorance. It's someone that doesn't know what they're talking about because they can't
don't want to
defend
give
it.
an answer, or
Because they can't give an answer,
or they're afraid to give an answer and offend someone, or them be wrong, and so they're afraid of being wrong, so they just don't answer what they think. Just give an opinion and move on with your day. I see it on these fan pages all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, go watch the movies.
Screw that person. That's what I always say every time.
Screw that guy. He's ignorant as shit. Let me tell you what I think. Anything that, when you ask a question like that on one of these fan pages, every answer you get is going to be opinionated.
Yeah.
It's not going to be nothing factual about it. So if you can't give your opinion, just don't fucking comment.
Yeah, that's the way I kind of feel towards it. Like, it don't have to be right. You just have to throw your ideas out there, and let's work back and forth.
We throw our ideas out there all the time. People comment in the section and they throw their opinions back at us, and I'm like, there's an interesting way to look at it. Let me think about that.
I've learned a lot of the, I thought I knew a lot about Harry Potter, but then I get on these fan pages sometimes, and there's always a question that
a
really
lot of everything you've learned from Harry Potter has been because of me. So even me, I thought I knew a lot about Harry Potter, but I learned some things every day or I learned another way to look at things.
Exactly.
Every day through these fan pages.
I agree with you on that. But overall, guys, I think that's about it. Like, I personally,
I could talk all day about Harry Potter, but yeah.
But overall, I do actually believe that there was maybe something underneath the surface.
I think there was some villainous tendencies with,
and I don't think he ever changed. I think maybe there was slight tendencies of changing.
I think he changed to an extent. Like, I think that when him and Grindelwald were friends, it was like, kind of screw the muggles. But then there was times in his life that he really was an activist for muggles.
Yeah.
So I do think he changed his views on things, but I still don't think that anything...
I don't think he was anti-muggle.
I don't think anything was greater than the greater good.
No. No, in his eyes, he always kept the greater good. And that was one thing that was...
See, Grindelwald ran with that, but it was Dumbledore that originally came up with that catchphrase when they were writing those letters.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's what I'm saying.
Grindelwald took it from Dumbledore.
Dumbledore was helping Grindelwald in his mindset and getting all the thoughts
He
processed.
stirred him in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
And in the book, it kind of explained that Dumbledore was that way at that point in time because he was mad. Because him and his friend were supposed to go off and see the world. Yeah. And his mom got sick and he had to come home and raise his brother and sister. Yeah. And so he was bitter. Yeah, and he was in a dark place at that time. Yeah, so
So I mean, and then you.
And that's what I'm saying. Little things that could have went differently could have made him go a complete different direction if you really think about it.
And then exactly. And then he's the one that brought Voldemort to Hogwarts in the first place. Personally went there, even though he knew the problems that was with this boy. He wasn't
even the headmaster at that point. No, he was just a professor. That's what I'm
saying. Like, I personally always thought that part was weird. I'm not saying that he intentionally did it, bring him there, but I'm just saying I don't know what was in his mindset that would make him personally go.
Now, see, I've always kind of wondered this too. Like, and this ain't really about Dumbledore, but it's like certain wizards, certain kids or whatever. Their names already written down for their acceptance to Hogwarts from the jump. Yeah. How do they choose, like, muggles, like Hermione? What made her special? Like, how did they know anything about this child?
That's actually a good question. Maybe that would be for another video. But I understand where you're coming from. That would be a good video. But anyways, guys, I think that's about it for this one.
Yeah, I need to stop.
Yeah. We could go on and on and on.
I definitely could. Like, days.
Yeah. So anyways, guys, let us know what y'all think, and take care. Thanks.